That's what I call my dog. Lady dog.
Lazy dog.
This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa. Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet world, West Alabama. How are we doing today on a Monday? It's the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. I hope you and yours are doing well today. You are watching us on the Bama Central YouTube channel, on the Bama Central Facebook page. You're listening to us on Apple Podcast, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. You can find the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. We're broadcasting live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios right here off of McFarland Boulevard. Make sure you check out Derek Daniel for all of your insurance needs. You can check him out right here on Highway 69 North, just past the Tiger Rock on the left, or call him today at 205-758-3391. They'll get you a free auto insurance quote, homeowners insurance quote, life insurance quote, giving you the information you need to and to save you some money. We appreciate Derek Daniels sponsoring the program. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. We're also brought to you by Purple Turtle Roofing. We appreciate Purple Turtle Roofing for sponsoring the program. You can check them out for all of your roofing needs at roofturtle.com. They'll come out and make sure that your roof is good to go. No leaks, no cracks, no damages. You can check them out at roofturtle.com. They'll come check out your roof and give you the peace of mind that you deserve. We're hanging out with Theo Fernandez. Oh, my gosh. You reminded me right before we got started. Theo, it's the last time I'm going to see him this summer. He's getting out of here. He's got a couple more tests to take academically, and then his semester is over, and he's going to be jumping into some World Cup coverage. So if you're into soccer, make sure you're following Theo Fernandez at Theo Fernandez _. He's going to be working for Fox Sports over the summer. He's still going to be a part of the show on days where he can be a part of the show, and on days where he cannot, we'll get replacements. We'll find Hunter Deciver, Hunter Brantley. We'll find Kitty Wyndham. We'll find Henry Sklar. We'll find some of our backups to Theo Fernandez and have a lot of fun without him. So with that, good morning, Theo. You look so good. I'm going to miss you so much. I'm excited for you.
Hey, I'm going to miss you too, Joe. I'm going to miss being in here, but I am very excited to get started and rolling with Fox Sports. I'll be working for the World Cup, especially all with Fox social media pages, so posting stuff about all sorts of sports.
The beautiful game.
Yeah, and then also, MLB, NASCAR coverage, a little bit of everything in the lead up to the World Cup. So if you guys see something out there posted by Fox Sports that you like, that was probably me. If there's something you didn't like, was not me.
Yeah.
And it'll be a fun time. I'm excited.
Are you a soccer guy in general, or was this just, it's a big opportunity, so it doesn't matter if you're a soccer guy or not, but are you a soccer guy as you go into the World Cup?
I'm a soccer guy every time there's an international tournament.
Yes.
Like, I love the idea of countries playing each other in anything, like in basketball, football, like World Baseball Classic, any sport that they want to play each other, and I'm all for it. So I worked with Fox for the Copa and Euro tournament 2 years ago. Got all into soccer then. I've watched maybe 2 soccer games since the end of that, but I'll watch every single game in the World Cup, obviously, because I'm getting paid to watch.
The Euros is such a great event.
Oh,
incredible. And World Cup will be as well. I am with you. Soccer on an international stage, like, I understand the Olympics are great, but the Olympics have those rules where you can't play if you're over 24. Or you don't have like 2 or 3 players over the age of 24 or whatever it is. True, my best 11 soccer players against your nation's best 11. Like, it is real high intensity and a lot of fun to follow. So I'm looking forward to that event and looking forward to following your coverage.
I am as well, and I will. Like I said, I will be here on this show as much as possible. I hope it's full time. There probably will be a couple days I miss, but I'll be talking with you guys. You guys check in with me, Twitter, DMs, whatever, but I'll be around.
There we go. So follow Theo Fernandez. Let's start this show, Theo. We're going to talk about the NFL draft because that's really what carried the day over the weekend, and I don't think we want to talk about any Alabama baseball. Got butt whooped on Friday twice. So we'll stick to the NFL draft today. We want to talk about rounds 2 through 7. We talked about the first round. We want to talk about rounds 2 through 7, but I want to talk about Elijah Haven as well. Alabama bringing in another 5-star quarterback quarterback. This one from Louisiana, and so we'll talk about how Elijah Haven fits into this quarterback room just a little bit. If we need more topics or need more time, we can talk about the class of 2027 Alabama football draftees. How early will Xavier Brown go? We can start that conversation. Who will be drafted first? Is it Ryan Coleman Williams, or Xavier Brown? That can be a back burner conversation as well. So a lot of draft conversation today, a lot of football with Elijah Haven. But let's lead off with the voicemail line. You guys can call the voicemail line at 205-462-7340, extension 800. My man Dax leaves his reaction to the NFL draft. So since we're talking draft, let's set it right up with Dax on the voicemail line.
It's Dax. So the draft, I'd say, went decently well for Alabama. I am very excited for Ty Simpson and his situation that he's in, even though McVay might not be the happiest, but it's okay. Ty literally could not have gone to a better spot, though, because he gets to be mentored by one of the toughest of all NFL quarterbacks, veteran Matthew Stafford. And he gets to battle with old Stetson DoorDash Bennett. That's just a funny. I think Ty's going to beat Stetson out real quick. But yeah, he's in a great situation. He'll be fine in 2-3 years. I understand that the Rams are in win right now mode, which again every NFL team is. But I think they're in very good hands. They also got TK way later, which I figured TK would have gone a little higher than he did. But the Rams have picked up a solid D lineman. I don't know about y'all, but I am more excited to watch Ty in the NFL than I have been any other Alabama quarterback. I don't know why, but I am. I'm actually very excited to see what he does with a competent offensive line. That was the biggest problem. The Ty could get knocked down. Peyton Proctor should do well with the Dolphins. The Dolphins already, I think he's gonna have to put in a little work, obviously, to be a starter pretty quick. But I think he can manage it. LT went. Justin Jefferson went. Amani went in the 6th round. Crazy, he was, in my brain, he was a projected first-round starter at the beginning of the year, and then the Georgia game happened, and he fell off a cliff. But at least Amani still got drafted. Deontay Lawson not getting drafted was confusing to me. I understand the injuries held him back a lot, but he is a very smart linebacker, and he has shown the traits. He's got the measurables to be a really good player in the NFL. I think the injuries just held him back so much, which that might be why the NFL teams have kind of backed off of him. But, your best ability is availability, and that is a Deontay Lawson problem. So, Jam to the Patriots. Bro ran a 4.43 at the Combine, which is, I don't know where that was all season, but it's fine. I'm probably missing somebody. But, I mean, it was a decent draft. Once again, don't know how we made it to the second round of the playoffs with no running game and no O-line. But, that's basically it. Thank you, Ty Simpson, for your season. I love you and everything you do. Roll Tide.
There we go. That's Dax on the voicemail line breaking down the NFL draft from his perspective. 10 Alabama football players selected in the NFL draft over the 7 rounds. You had 3 in the first two rounds, and the 7 over the back handful of rounds, back 3 rounds. Any thoughts on Dax's comments?
Yeah, Parker Brailsford, Browns, and then Josh Cuevas, Bengals. I think we're the only 2. 8 out of 10. Pretty good ratio there.
Off the top of his head, yeah.
That's impressive work.
Yeah, well done.
What do you make of Lawson going undrafted?
Oh, tough circumstance. I make two factors counting against him. Neither of them really his fault. The first factor that's definitely not his fault is the fact that I don't think that the NFL values off-ball linebacker at all. You look at, let's see, where's my positions? You had just a few inside linebackers. I think 2 go in the first round. Yeah, Sonny Styles and Rodriguez were basically your first 2 inside linebackers off the board. Styles went at 7, and Rodriguez in the second round. Arvell Reese could be considered. You guys might have considered him an off-ball linebacker, but I think he's going to do a lot of edge rushing as well. A little bit of Jahad Campbell tweener type. But the true off-ball linebackers, you look at it. I mean, you went from Jacob Rodriguez to Josiah Trotter at Missouri, who's a good player. But C.J. Allen, you should have been a first-round pick. Second-round pick, number 21 in that round, in the second round. Anthony Hill Jr., great linebacker at Texas.
Great football player.
yeah, exactly. Went in the back end of the second round. And then no linebackers at all in the third round. None. You had to skip all the way to the fourth round. Jimmy Rolder from Michigan, Wade Woodass from Clemson kind of becomes your next 2 linebackers in the fourth round. And so and we saw Justin Jefferson, 5th-round pick. I think Justin Jefferson is a fine player, but I think Justin Jefferson has the tools that the NFL teams are looking for. Speed at linebacker, coverage ability at linebacker, ability to close. I think that they're going to try to teach him to play with physicality and to not run around blocks a little bit and to kind of go through blocks. But with Deontay, you've also got a little bit of a little bit of a jumper in gaps, a little bit of a guesser in gaps like Justin Jefferson was, but didn't have the elite speed that Justin Jefferson. I mean, good athlete, but you've got the knee injury question marks. And so these organizations, as the board is falling all the way down, 4th round, 5th round, 6th round, you're still getting guys picked from Harold Perkins Jr., the linebacker, 6th round right there. That's basically the last real name I recognize. Aiden Fisher from Indiana goes in the 7th round. And so you've got the board falling certain ways, and they're like, well, I can take a player that I feel good about his medical and feel good about him contributing in the 6th round, in the 5th round, in the 4th round, in the 7th round. And so I do it. I'll take Justin Jefferson. There's no medical question mark there, over a guy like Deontay Lawson, who I'm not real sure how the knee's going to hold up long term, and doesn't have the same physical traits that Justin Jefferson has as far as elite speed. Do I feel bad for Deontay Lawson? I think he did everything the right way. I think he absolutely did everything the right way as far as being a college football player, committing to a school, sitting and waiting his turn, developing, staying at that school, getting injured, believing in the school, going through the rehab, committing to his process, and playing a really strong senior year. It started off pretty damn bad down in Florida State, but you had a pretty strong senior year coming off an ACL tear. I do feel bad for him because I think he did things the right way, but forces outside of his control, particularly the way the NFL values inside linebacker, leads him to go undrafted. But for Deontay, you go undrafted, you get to choose your 32 teams. You get to choose your scenario, your situation. You're going to be a UDFA, so the money's going to be basically the same across most of the 32 teams. So marginal differences here and there. You pick the Philadelphia Eagles, so I'm sorry, I know that you're a big Giants guy, but you pick an organization that has developed talent and has taken question marks here or there, back into the draft question marks, UDFA question marks, and turned them into this guy's a real player and gotten them contracts. I think this is a good situation for Deontay Lawson, but I do feel bad for him because I think he was dealt a hard set of cards.
I would rather be a UDFA than a late 7th rounder, right? I think most people seem to have that perspective, and we'll see. I mean, a lot of those guys got camp invites already, right? We know it was Roberts got the Eagles.
Roberts with the Eagles.
Jones
I've got the list.
Saints.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
No, that's all I know.
Deshaun Jones with the Saints. You had both of the Eagles. Where's our list? Hunter DeCiver right there. Bam. You had Jen Roberts and Deontay Lawson with the Eagles. Cam Dewberry with the Atlanta Falcons. Deshaun Jones with the New Orleans Saints. And Nikhai Hill-Green with the Los Angeles Rams. So the Bama guys probably not playing in the NFL. Dre Washington, Brody Dalton, Geno Vandermark, and Blake Dowd.
Oh man, no invite for them.
No invite for them that we have seen, that we have reported. There may be. I mean, it's Monday morning.
Yeah, we got plenty of time. But no, I thought it was what was Bama? Second on the as far as most players drafted out of a school, right? And we spent a lot of time talking, especially on the defensive side of the ball, about the kind of lack of talent leaving the team. Even in a bit of a down year, you still have a good amount of players hear their names called on draft day. Where do you want to go from here, Joe?
Well, we can go any really direction. Like your comments right there make me think about I think you had 4 players taken in the top 137, and I know Indiana didn't do much better than that. I think they had 4 players in the first couple of rounds as well. But I just feel like the draft board indicates I think the draft board indicates how good of a job that Kalen DeBoer and his staff have done. Because when you look at the 10 draftees, 1, 2, 3 of them all came with DeBoer. The 3 Washington guys, you had Caden Proctor and Ty Simpson. Okay, Saban fellas, they were already on the team. You're trying to develop them, but okay, first round guys. If you didn't bring in Jeremy, you'd have LT would have been your next pick. Three guys in the first 4 rounds. And while look, I mean, it's good for all these guys to go to the NFL, and that's the goal. We're nitpicking about 5th round, 6th round, 7th round guys. They're all getting their opportunities, and that's great. But I just believe that what we saw this weekend is indicative of not the lack of talent, but the lack of real cream of the crop type talent here in Alabama. Like, you had a good team, made the playoffs, made the SEC championship. You had a good team. Good. Yeah, you were talented, but you were talented in the sense that Jam Miller goes in the 7th round. I mean, how many running back is an extremely undervalued position anyways. How many running backs were taken? You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 running backs taken, and Jam was the last one. Right? It's like Jam, good player. We saw 4.43 40, and that I'm with you. That's inexplicable. Where did that come from? But he comes out and runs a good 40, and the Patriots take him in the 7th round. He's a good player, deserves to get drafted, but he's not a second round. Think about the last. We talked about Jahmyr Gibbs being the last real dog as a running back, 1st round draft pick. Like, you have a history of Alabama where your running backs are in the 1st and 2nd round. Yeah. Derrick Henry, 2nd round pick. Like, how crazy is that? But Trent Richardson, Mark Ingram, you have a bunch of 1st round picks. Josh Jacobs, 1st round picks, all over the place. Najee Harris, 1st round pick, all over the place. And you now are looking at the Alabama running back room, and it's 7th round pick Jam Miller. I just think it just shows, okay, I know the expectations in Tuscaloosa have been national championship or bust, keep the thing rolling just like Nick Saban did, 15, 16-0 now, no losses acceptable. You got to beat everybody, but you're just dealing with a little worse roster composition talent-wise than you were in almost any year under Nick Saban.
Yeah, even the line. I mean, let's be real, Caden Proctor's an outlier. He wasn't a 1st round player based off production. He was 1st round player based off potential. You didn't have that kind of production on the line. I completely agree with you, Joe.
So I put that out there on Friday or so and got a lot of people, you're a hater on DeBoer. I'm like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, look at the lack of top end talent, and DeBoer still got 11-4, took you to the SEC championship game, won a playoff game on the road after being down 17-0. I know the only thing left in your memory is getting skull dragged by Indiana, but like, the team really did perform very well for where it is talent-wise. Like, yeah, you got a lot of depth. I mean, you hit it, 2nd most draftees in the pool. So you have a lot of depth, but 7 of your 10 draftees come on day 3. And so it's like, it's good for all of them to get opportunities, and great. They're in the league. But I just think that it's just a really nice data point showing that, there's been a small step back in Tuscaloosa. And really, the step back was the vacuum of Nick Saban kind of falling off a little bit in recruiting. You kind of misevaluated the last couple of recruiting classes when Coach Saban was here. And then his departure also. You lost how many players in the transfer portal and how many players. So, all kinds of things left the program. Like you had a huge vacuum of talent sucked out of there because of the Saban's departure that DeBoer is starting to try to replenish. DeBoer brought 3 draft eligible guys in with him, and all 3 of them went and got drafted. I think all 3 of them probably got selected. They ran the Coach Saban, maximize your value in sentiment. Jeremy Bernard, 2nd round pick, you maximize your value. Parker, 5th round pick, you maximize your value. I would say the same for Cuevas as well. Cuevas was in the 5th round pick, maximize it. Like all 3 of those Washington guys maximize their value. And so I think that if you're not quite on the Kalen DeBoer train, if you're seeing the contract extension that was given last week, and you're thinking, why the hell are we doing this? You got comments on the Bama Central Facebook page. Greg Byrne just set Alabama football back by 10 years. And to that person or people that have that attitude, I just put some of this information in front of your face and say, no, I don't think the program is set back by 10 years. I think there's just a small, a little stumble a year or 2 ago in the transition. And I think that the Coach DeBoer's getting his feet underneath him. You can look ahead. We might do it today. We might do it tomorrow. You can look ahead to next year's draft class and think, there's a lot of top end talent there. You can make an argument that you have 4 first-round picks, maybe 5. I think you really have a safe argument in 2, but you could make an argument for 3, 4, or 5 players being in the first round next year. And so I thought it was a good draft weekend for everybody. And I think there was a lot of, just big picture takeaways.
I do too. And kind of on that note, without diving fully into it, just the idea of you have the top-end talent, right? And I know you wrote your piece on predicting Alabama's first-round picks. And looking at that, you've got the top-end talent. You've got a lot of guys front-loaded into those first 2 days without necessarily as many late-round guys. Mm-hmm. So what that tells me is, okay, we've returned to the normal, or we're obviously way too early to predict it for sure, but it appears as though we're returning to the mean there as far as top-end elite NFL talent will be leaving Tuscaloosa. But then you also have a fundamentally younger football team, right, that will – a lot of those guys who, let's be honest, will eventually be the day 3 picks are still staying for, in theory, 2027, obviously not knowing what the portal looks like. But this really does feel like the point where, okay, Kalen DeBoer has built up his football team. And I think you can't have any reaction besides just being excited to see what that looks like as an Alabama fan.
I'm right there. This year, this 2026 season, yeah, I am more excited about 2026 than I was about 25 and 24. 24, I was excited about it just because there was so much unknown, and what are we going to do, and what's Coach DeBoer going to do? How is he going to operate the program, and who is, all that stuff. The newness was definitely exciting. But then, and last year was interesting, but this upcoming year feels like, this is all 85 players are all, and not all because Jamarian Latham is still on the roster, but basically a very high percentage of the roster is now all Coach DeBoer. 95% of the roster is Coach DeBoer's players, and so I think I'm more excited about 2026 than I have been the last 2 seasons. As we're sitting here, 128 days away from opening up against East Carolina. Let's look at each of these picks. We talked about the first rounds on Friday. We talked about Caden Proctor and Ty Simpson. So we're going to skip to the second round if that's cool with you. I'm watching the second round for Bama Central. I'm watching all of it for Bama Central, doing our tracker. And you see, the Steelers have traded. And the Steelers, and first off, Pittsburgh, y'all did the draft. Y'all did the dang thing. That was great. It was for a TV show that is just a gentleman going to the podium and reading a card. Billy Smith, 4th round pick, Green Bay Packers. That's a pretty boring TV show in construct. The Steelers, the Pittsburgh crowd, the environment, I think they did a very good job. Every time that the Steelers were on the clock, the place, you could just feel the TV rumble, start to get excited. And so you have the trade up, and I thought about, the presentation of the Steelers pick on Thursday night, which was elite. They had a great presentation leading up to their first round pick. And so the Steelers logos go across the pictures, and the crowd starts to rumble. And I thought, all right, another guy's gonna get the real hometown treatment. And then boom, flashed across the stage. Jeremy Bernard, Alabama wide receiver. And I thought, hell yeah, good for you, Jeremy. If anybody deserved a, hey, we are so excited about this pick type of reception, it's Jeremy Bernard to me. And Jeremy was now obviously he was celebrating with his family. But you flips on the TV and you just see all the crowd cheering, getting excited about their new wide receiver. Jeremy Bernard joins a wide receiver core that is buns, very, very, very buns, very bad, very disgusting. DK Metcalf and no one else. I mean, that's a little exaggeration, but basically no one else. It's DK and no one. And so now Aaron Rodgers, if he returns, gets Jeremy Bernard added into the wide receiver room. I think, I was talking about 49ers. Being probably his ideal fit because I wanted to see him utilized as a jackknife, jack of all trades type player on offense. But I think Pittsburgh's going to use him pretty well. I think Pittsburgh is going to utilize his skill set effectively and put him in a lot of different roles. And basically it's going to be DK, you run a lot of guys off, and we're going to have Jeremy running digs and out routes and flag routes behind you into the open space. I think it's a great fit for Jeremy Bernard. You're probably only going to get 1 year of Aaron Rodgers, and then you're going to be looking at one of these rookie quarterbacks next season. I think Jeremy's a good receiver to break in a rookie quarterback next season, 2 seasons from now, I guess. So I was happy for Jeremy. I was happy that he got picked by the hometown team, and then he got to see a big crowd cheering for him. And I was happy with the fit on the field as well.
Man, I can't believe Aaron Rodgers still just hasn't announced a return. It's funny. You would have thought he would have hijacked the NFL draft again, right?
Yes.
I'm surprised we didn't hear anything out of him. I think you're a little too harsh on the Steelers receiver. I mean, Pittman's a solid football player.
Oh, they traded for Michael Pittman, didn't they? Okay.
Pittman's
last year he wasn't on the team. They were buns. They were awful receivers. They had the second few. That's the stat I threw in there because Reese Davis said it. The second fewest wide receiver receptions in the NFL last year.
Oh wow, yeah, that's not good at all. No, I mean I look at it and DK Pittman. Bernard?
Pittman. Okay, I think
that's a really solid trio.
I didn't remember Pittman got traded there. Yeah, that's good.
In theory, I mean, you probably have pretty similar numbers for Bernard and Pittman. If I had to eyeball it, predict right now, where they're both kind of a 2A, 2B situation.
Yeah.
I think you're giving Aaron Rodgers some stuff to work with. Now, what can Aaron Rodgers do with it? I don't know. We'll see. He obviously had his moments last year, good and bad. I struggle to believe that he won't play football this year, right? There's no way he doesn't come back.
At this point, you haven't said it, and so like if he pulls the plug on Pittsburgh right now, he's leaving them high and dry, and that would be really dramatic. But I'd be surprised if he's not playing.
I agree.
At least trying to play.
And hey, look, Pittsburgh is a city, that fan base, they're gonna love Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, any fan base would, but he feels like a natural fit over there.
Yeah, so I think that Jeremy. I mean, he's going to be about the work, and the Pittsburgh fans will love him. He's going to get, I would assume, just based on what we know about him the last couple of years, he's going to get involved in the community up there in Pittsburgh, and people will love that about him as well. I think he's going to be a very beloved Steeler. And Jeremy's the type to have, I don't even want to put a ceiling on it, but Jeremy's the type to have a 8 to 15 year NFL career, but just because of the worker that he is.
Yes. Look, I obviously don't want to jinx anything or talk about, but it's hard to see a world where Jeremy Bernard like flames out or anything in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm very happy for him, and I'm very happy for that fit for him. Then you had a pretty sleepy third round on Friday night. So we're watching on Friday night. Then we wake up Saturday, and in the fourth round, you get to get your alarm set. 137 defensive end LT Overton to the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys need some pass rush help. They saw him for a couple of years at Texas A&M. I'm happy for LT, but I don't know what to expect out of him in Dallas. I think that he is going to be, unfortunately, just a guy in the NFL.
You talk about maximizing your value. Like LT, look, it's not a guy who maximizes value.
Yes.
He was in first-round mocks, right? As was Deontay Lawson, but there were no injuries that knocked LT Overton out. It was kind of just underwhelming football.
Lack of production. I'm sorry, but he only has, I don't think he has Kane Womack to blame. I don't think he has Kalen DeBoer. I don't think that. I think that it's his own. I mean, look at the edge rushers. I mean, if you could play edge at all, you're getting drafted in this draft. You had 5 in the first round, 5 edge rushers in the first round, and then another 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more in the second round. If you could play edge, 11 of the first 64 picks were edge rushers. It's like plenty of opportunity for you to get picked up, LT, if you just showed anything. But it was just Mr. Almost Sack. So he's going to go to Dallas and be Mr. Almost Sack.
I agree. I don't know what kind of role we'll see. I mean, look, in theory, there are opportunities to get on the field on
lots
defense,
of them,
but I don't know if he'll take advantage of them.
All right, so skipping ahead, you got a double Cleveland Browns pick. This was fun. I was updating my Cleveland Browns pick at 146 for Parker Brailsford on the tracker, and not 2 seconds later, 149, they take Justin Jefferson, so they double dip Alabama players in the 5th round. I'm looking at the Browns depth chart. They signed Elton Jenkins from the Green Bay Packers to play center, guard, maybe. They also got Tevin Jenkins from the Bears. So their offensive line looks in flux right now. Spencer Fanu was their first-round pick, left tackle, very much in flux. They got Titus Howard from Houston. So we don't really know what their offensive line is going to look like. But Parker Brailsford is a 5th-round pick. He looks like probably your first interior offensive line backup, but he's probably going to be just a center, which is fine. So he looks like he's playing backup center immediately for the Cleveland Browns, and we'll see what kind of role Justin Jefferson can carve out. I think Justin Jefferson is an NFL team's core special teamer. I think he's going to be a core special teamer for the Browns for 4 years.
Yeah, that sounds about right with Jefferson, right? Like, what more do you want in a special team guy?
Speed, athleticism, violence at the point of the attack. I don't know if he's going to be an every down, every day defensive player unless there's an injury situation that just kind of forces him into that role. But I think that he is on kickoff return. He's on kickoff. He's on punt return, punt. He's probably not on field goal. He might be on field goal block.
Yeah.
So that's 4, maybe 5 teams that he's already just plug them right in there on him.
And hey, like we see it very often with the defensive player earning the opportunity to play on the defensive side of the ball through very impressive, hard-nosed special teams play. So that's very much a pathway for Justin Jefferson. Yeah, Brailsford, he can only play center, if we're being honest. We're never going to see him, I don't think, take a single snap at guard. So, yeah, Jenkins is a tough guy to get reps over, but I do agree. He's probably first guy up if, knock on wood, anything ever.
Yeah, if something happens to one of the guards, they're going to bump Elton Jenkins over to play guard and just bump Parker Brailsford into the starting lineup.
And I think, like we talked about it in the lead up to the draft, I think he's someone who makes a little career out of this thing.
I do. I mean, he's going to be reliable, a hard worker and reliable. Those two things will take you very far in the NFL.
Especially if you're playing next to Elton Jenkins and I forget who you said the other guard they added was.
Tevin Jenkins, former Bear first-round pick.
That's not a bad duo to have a little bit of a smaller guy playing in between. I mean, it kind of works.
Those are 2 behemoths, Elton and they're not brothers, but it's funny that they're got the same last name. Next up in the 5th round, am I taking Josh Cuevas in like my 15th round of the NFL of my fantasy football draft because he's going to be the next tight end up in Baltimore? He gets taken by the Ravens. Here's the Ravens depth chart with the tight end situation. Mark Andrews obviously still there. Durham Smythe, it was signed as an undrafted free agent. They drafted Matt Hibner in the 4th round and then followed it up with Josh Cuevas in the 5th round. So he's wide open for tight end too.
Yeah, no, that's his job.
It could, I mean, he could also not win it, but that job's wide open.
I think that no matter what, you're in a position to get on the field.
Yeah,
right,
for sure.
Significantly. Like we said, I don't know what he's ever going to put up passing yards wise, but if there was
15 receptions a year,
I'll bump it up. I'll say 1 a game.
Yeah,
I
like that. Because look, we have to take into account the trends in the NFL. It's if you ain't running 12 personnel, if you're not running 13 personnel, you're falling behind, and so you need some tight end. He's gonna get on the field. He'll get some random targets here or there.
You can thank the Giants for taking Isaiah Likely. Now all of a sudden, Cuevas has a chance to play.
There you go. Check down Charlie for Lamar Jackson. There you go. I think that's a good fit for him.
I agree.
I think he's going to say yes to any special teams role given to him, and he will work hard enough. He'll be counted on to be on the football field.
And I would say all three of those fifth rounders absolutely maximize value. I mean,
I do too.
A former community college player. Like, we forget about it. Like, how great does that have to feel for Justin Jefferson, man, knowing where you came from, and you've got these physical gifts, and you, after what I thought was an underwhelming start to his Alabama career, I really thought he turned on nicely down the stretch.
Yeah, I agree. I think all the fifth rounders, I'm with you, maximize their value. Going to the sixth round, though, oh man, Damani probably didn't maximize your value, but you're drafted. That's a baseline, and that's a huge accomplishment. Well done, Damani Jackson gets drafted in the sixth round with pick number 201 by the Taliban. The Green Bay Packers selected Damani Jackson, and great, good for you. There's been all kinds of now stories or tweets written about Damani Jackson and HaHa Clinton Dix, and HaHa being all about, obviously HaHa's a big Green Bay Packer, former first-round pick. So, hyping up the Packers to Damani, hyping Damani up to the Packers. I think that there was a little bit of that in play, but great for Damani. He gets an NFL opportunity.
Yeah, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I think Damani Jackson has the longest career of any of these defensive players drafted out of Alabama.
The Packers were horrible passing coverage, passing defense. And I'm not just putting my Bears hat on when I say that. They were actually not good in pass coverage last season. Very good, obviously, in pass rush when Micah Parsons was on the field. And I love their linebackers. Their linebackers give me the heebie-jeebies, to be honest with you, because they're very, very good. Their defensive backs are very, very bad. He's going to be stepping into a defensive back room with Keyshawn Nixon, Xavier McKinney, former Alabama guy, is going to be sitting there. Evan Williams playing safety as well, but his corners are going to be Keyshawn Nixon, Carrington Valentine, and Javon Bullard. So I think there's going to be an opportunity, like if you play any kind of good in fall camp, you can carve yourself a role.
McKinney and Damani are each going to pick off Caleb Williams in a Monday Night Football game to seal a win for the Green Bay Packers this fall. You heard it here first.
Heartbreaking, but it's definitely possible. We'll see. I'm happy for Damani getting an opportunity. And look, it's an opportunity. It's a place where you can go in and play if you go play well. And if you start playing well, you put all this junk behind you. You put all this, he's no good. You put the last couple seasons behind you and start cashing those paychecks. Last two for us. We're going into the seventh round, defensive line. The Rams, they love them some Alabama players this year. Got some Ty Simpson, got some Tim Keenan the third in the seventh round, and then came up with the Kai Hill Green as an undrafted free agent. But Tim Keenan to the Los Angeles Rams in the seventh round.
I like it, man. I don't know how big of a player Keenan can be in the NFL. I think he'll make the roster. I think he'll be kind of the depth guy, next guy up where, we feel okay if we have to put him in for a couple plays. I don't know, man. I was a little underwhelmed by TK. He didn't jump out at me all that much. Great leader for the team. I thought he was a great piece as far as a locker room guy. I don't know how much he can do in the NFL, but glad he gets a chance.
It's going to be really hard to carve out at least some playing time with the Rams as Puna Ford basically plays his position, and that's a bad man right there. So we'll see. I'm thrilled for Tim Keenan. I think he's going to get an opportunity there. It'll be a successful franchise. You can go play in sunny California. Last one for us is Jam Miller in the seventh round, 245 overall to the New England Patriots. To the New England Patriots.
You give him a late round fantasy flyer?
I give him what I would do with him if I'm a fantasy football owner. The problem is they want Travion Henderson to take over that.
Yes, as they should.
What are they going to do with? Really, I'd be paying very close attention to Ramondre Stevenson, and if Ramondre ends up not making it all the way through camp, then Jam Miller, I'm keeping my eye. He's going to be a priority free agent ad for me as a fantasy football player, because I think that he's going to get some run here. Vrabel clearly has got some issues with Travion Henderson, and he's got some issues in other places as well. But you should have been playing Henderson like 95% of the time, but you didn't because he fumbled a couple of times, and you're you don't earn the trust, old school, that sort of thing. And so you gave the ball back to Ramondre Stevenson. I think Jam has an opportunity to carve out a role here in New England and become, that week 10, week 9, week 10, week 11 week when you're like, damn, I have a lot of buys. I got to get somebody. I think Jam's going to be one of those somebodies that you're looking at.
Joe, are the Patriots the most obvious Super Bowl hangover candidates of all time? It certainly feels that way, right?
I'm with you right there. You got a coach who's got turmoil. You're changing things on the offensive line. Yeah, I think that's problematic. Did they add a lot of pass catchers? They added somebody for Drake May, didn't they?
I'm trying to think.
Oh, I'm on their R lads. Hold on.
You check.
There are lads. Oh, they got Romeo Dobbs from the Packers. That's who they added. They already had Mac Hollins. They already had Keyshawn Boutte. Yeah. They added Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah, does that move the needle that much? I think 8 and 9's in play here.
Romeo is a fine receiver, but he's not a dude. He's a guy who's gonna make some catches when you throw him his way. He's not a dude.
He's not. Yeah. I think New England's gonna miss the playoffs.
Oh, that's even bolder. I like it.
I'm going.
I do think Super Bowl hangover is in play, and I guess miss the playoffs in favor of the Bills because the Jets and the problem is
you got such a winnable.
Their division is so horrid. Their division's horrid. Well, there we go. NFL draft. Alabama, 10 players selected. Real quick, run right through all the UDFAs again. You had Jaden Roberts and Deontay Lawson to the Eagles, Nakai Hill-Green to the Rams, Deshaun Jones to the Saints, Cam Dewberry to the Falcons. Any thoughts on does Jaden Roberts become a long-term starter for the Eagles?
If there's anywhere it's going to happen, it's Philly, right?
Yeah.
Just like they just snag offensive linemen out of nowhere. Man, I'm really rooting for Jaden Roberts. He's one of my favorite interviews I've ever had, right? In the midst of what was such not the season that he thought he was going to have, not the end of his career, but a guy, Bama through and through, who I remember talking to him after the Rose Bowl, and it was, well, what's your thought on this season? Obviously, things not going the way you want. And he said, well, hey, I got 2 degrees here. I'm here in the Rose Bowl with my brothers, and he's got the physical gifts. He's certainly got the strength. See what Jaden Roberts, maybe he can make something out of it.
Yeah, he'd be my pick for which UDFA sticks the longest and finds the biggest role.
Yeah,
I think Dewberry could stick with the Falcons. I think Nakai Hill-Green could become a long-term special teamer for the Rams. So we'll see what those guys end up doing. Any other draft thoughts before we switch over to Elijah Haven?
No, that's all I got.
We had a lot of fun talking NFL draft. You can let me know which guys you guys are most excited to watch. What's your favorite NFL team? Did your favorite NFL team just pick an Alabama guy? Or are you happy with it? Are you unhappy with it? You can leave us a voicemail at 205-462-7340, extension 800 if you want to leave your voice on the show, or just leave us a comment at Bama Central, at Theo Fernandez, _ at Joe Gaither 6.
Hey, we had John leave us a comment.
Hey, that's John.
Love the show. Appreciate all the support from you, John.
Big fan of John. Absolutely. Always chiming in, leaving us some questions and leaving us some comments. I think you had some comments on one of our most recent shows last week. Let's see. That's last week. He was talking about Jam Miller going last week. And you correctly picked that as a 7th round pick. So I appreciate John always leaving us comments on the Twitter machine. Before we get into the last little bit of the show, we want to remind everybody about Purple Turtle Roofing. At Purple Turtle Roofing, we're not just another contractor. We're your neighbor and your advocate when it comes to protecting your home or business. With years of hands-on experience, top-tier certification, and a commitment to excellence, we've built a reputation as Alabama's go-to roofing solution. We specialize in residential roofing, commercial roofing, emergency storm repairs, full-on roof replacements, insurance claim support, and more. Visit us online at roofturtle.com or call us today at 877-787-6635. We'll come out and give you a free roof inspection, giving you the peace of mind that you deserve. So check them out online at roofturtle.com. That's Purple Turtle Roofing. Roofing with heart, built to last. All right, we're hanging out with Theo Fernandez in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. Last topic for the day. And What does it do for your recruiting to have a first round pick go at number 13? Your quarterback recruiting to have, we don't need many years. One and done for Ty Simpson. We'll get you into the first round, number 13 overall. We'll turn around on Saturday and just add another quarterback prospect, 5-star quarterback, Elijah Haven out of Dunham School in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, commits to Alabama. He is considered by 24/7 Sports the number 1 quarterback in the class. He's considered by 24/7 Sports the number 2 overall player in the class of 2027. The number two, the composite has him as the number 22 overall player in the class, and also the number 1 quarterback. He stands at 6'5" at 215 pounds. You can go to his huddle and it says 190 pounds. So somewhere between 190 and 215. We'll put him at 207 just to find a middle point right there. 6'5", 207 out of Louisiana. Apparently, LSU never really involved there. Is that a concern to anyone, or are we just seeing 5-star, 5-star, 5-star and getting excited because Alabama adds another big-time quarterback?
I think you should be nothing but excited about this addition. Nothing's going to ruin what the excitement of, man, this guy choosing the Crimson Tide, going there over Georgia, watching his tape. This is a big-time football player. This is about at the level of Keelan Russell, if you ask me, as far as just pure talent out of a guy.
He's bigger.
He's bigger, yes. Keelan Russell, man. Keelan Russell is a very, very talented football. You watch Keelan's release, man. I was watching some Keelan over the weekend.
Elijah never looks pressed in any of these clips we see, though. Never looks pressed at all. He just looks Sunday in the park.
Hey. Keelan did it at the highest level of Texas high school.
That's
football.
true. Keep going. I cut you off. Go ahead.
Acknowledge that.
I'm sorry.
And it shouldn't be a detractor for either of those guys, right? 2 big-time quarterback recruits. Man, look at Kalen DeBoer. First-round picks at QB, 2 of the last 3 drafts. A third-round pick the other. I was thinking about this. This is slightly off topic. In a world where Austin Mack starts, you are setting yourself up to have 5 straight drafts with a QB selected, likely in day 1 or 2. I mean, look, you guys know I'm firmly
4.
I'm assuming
Penix.
Russell in 27.
Oh, okay, yeah. Go ahead.
I'm assuming hypothetical or 28. I guess.
Yeah, I follow you. With Keelan.
You guys know I'm firmly in the Keelan Russell camp. That would be pretty cool. And Ty's given the blueprint right there. 1 year is all you need as an Alabama football quarterback. You do the right things. Kalen DeBoer sets you up to go be an NFL quarterback. And you've seen it with the caliber of recruits that have chosen to play for DeBoer with Russell. And look, Russell, obviously, he was still a 3-star, I believe, when he committed, right? But
correct.
You could have changed your decision and gone anywhere after what you did in LA at
correct
the 11 camp. Yeah, I mean, Jet Tamala was the number 4 QB in the class. We know, Seaborn probably going to be the odd man out a little bit, although he's not going to leave Tuscaloosa.
He said that he's committed. He says locked in anyways.
Like, you just keep pulling guys.
That's hard to believe, but right now all we can do is take the young man for what he says.
You will never have a problem under Kalen DeBoer finding an elite quarterback to go play football for you.
I mean, damn! If for anybody who doesn't see it by now, like that is the most. That's the most obvious evidence in the world. You're getting these. What's the most important position? I mean, you can debate left tackle. You can say corner and edge rusher if you love those guys the most. I love those guys, but it's quarterback. It's the guy who touches the football every dadgum play and makes every dadgum decision after the snap. And that is your most important player. And your most important player, you have walked into Tuscaloosa and convinced the incumbent starter to stay. Also convinced the backup to stay 2 years in Ty Simpson. You convinced your highly ranked quarterback prospect in Austin Mack to enroll early to go to Washington.
Yep.
And give up his senior year, no senior prom, no senior year, give up his senior year, enroll early at Washington, follow him to Tuscaloosa and believe in him enough to say, I'm sticking here. Jalen Milroe's playing, I'm sticking here. Yeah, Ty Simpson's playing, I'm sticking here. And yeah, I see Russell behind me, I'm sticking here. I mean, we can talk about Sean McVay all we want about those post-draft what's gone viral, but he has had more clips and more interviews after that. A lot of them on Saturday, Friday evening, and Saturday, where he was, look, we did like Ty Simpson. I know basically what Sean McVay said was, I was having a bad day. Sean McVay was essentially they were asking why he was so angry, why he was so down. It was like, oh, other forces that weren't involved with the draft were affecting my mood, is what he was saying. Essentially, what I was gathering is something at home, something business related, not football draft related, but basically maybe an argument with the offensive coordinator, an argument with the defense, like something happened interpersonally in his personal life that left him little.
There's nothing about Ty Simpson for McVay or any coach to dislike.
Well, he said it. He said, well, what we liked about him is how many times he turned his back to the defense and then flipped back around, in play action mode. He said at Alabama, what he did, what Ty Simpson did in the Caleb DeBoer offense in 1 year showed us all these NFL concepts that a lot of these other quarterbacks are not showing. Like, you ask, I'm sorry, but why did Cade Klubnik fall so far? One, he had a poor year, yes, but he's playing in a system that is not conducive to the NFL. Everybody made such a huge deal. Diego Pavia not going drafted was the most obvious thing in the world. Not only personality-wise, which rubs a lot of the NFL teams the wrong way, but look at him on the field. Vanderbilt did very little NFL offense. Now, their offense was very effective. We all remember them beating Alabama. We all remember them, challenging Texas this year. Like, their offense was effective for the college level.
It was gimmicky.
Yes, it's very, split zone reads, triple option, all kinds of things that are college offenses, not NFL offenses. And so Diego, he should have been drafted. Dude, he did nothing to show that he can read a defense pre-snap and read a defense post-snap and try to dissect and go through a progression like Ty Simpson showed multiple times throughout the year, game in and game out, snap in and snap out. And so while you only had the 1 year of experience, he's at least doing things that NFL teams are asking their quarterbacks to do, and thus get selected early. So Austin Mack gonna do things if he wins the job. Keelan Russell, whoever wins the job, they're gonna do things that NFL teams are asking their NFL quarterback to do, and that's gonna be enough to attract a lot of talent. If you can play Austin for 1 year and he can become, like, that's why I have him on my article as a wild card. He could be returned for redshirt senior year, or he could go on to the league with a strong year. If I'm Austin Mack, I'm trying to go one and done right here. I'm trying to give me 16 games to show, 16 going all the way to the national championship. But give me 16 games to show that I can play at the highest level, and I'll just go ahead and go to the NFL draft. Where's the next draft? It's in D.C. next year. I'll go find myself in D.C. and, Team XYZ is going to pick me at pick 8, at pick 13, at pick 9. Like, you're not going to beat Arch Manning out? Okay, no problem. And Arch may not even go. Arch is going to be that type to make sure that whoever has the top 3 pick is a team he wants to go get picked by. Otherwise, he's going back to Texas. So, like, you're going to have some circumstance. If Austin Mack plays well enough to be a first-round pick, and you throw Keelan Russell in there, and you throw Jet Tamala in there, and then you throw Elijah Haven in there, and by the time, you've got this cycle now to, look, you don't have to take hits for 3 years to play quarterback at Alabama. We can still get you into the NFL. Look, Austin Mack, if you play this 1 year, you had these 3 prior years to where you were sitting on the bench, marinating, not taking hits, not taking shots to the head, just learning. This year, that's Keelan Russell still marinated. Like, 1 year of hits, 1 year of risk, and you can go into the NFL. And I think that the system is just so obvious right now that you got a 5-star quarterback on a Saturday who in LSU's backyard was also considering Georgia. This young man at LSU, or excuse me, in Baton Rouge this year, state records in touchdown passes this year, 62, 73 total touchdowns. He completed 72% of his passes, 3,900 passing yards, had almost 800 rushing yards on 130 carries, 11 rushing touchdowns. So he's just getting it done in Louisiana. He was the Gatorade Player of the Year, led Dunham to a 13-1 record and a Division III state title. So that was his junior year. Sophomore year, 14-1. 14-1, he was 3,000 yards passing, 37 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, almost 1,000 rushing yards, and 21 rushing touchdowns as a sophomore. Like, Elijah Haven, this is a dude. This is a real deal.
This is a guy.
This is a real deal. Top end of the talent guy. And like his commitment should show you everything that you need to know. Combined with the draft class, that everything's on the right track.
There's no reason to argue that this program is falling apart. And look, we know the NIL is one thing.
Sure.
How do you overcome not having the NIL resources of other schools? By showing guys that you can get them into the league, especially at the quarterback position. I would argue more so at the quarterback position than any other position. If there's one area where guys may be willing to pass up a little bit of money from another school to make sure they're in the right system, it is at the quarterback position. Because you see guys run off to a certain school where 1 year can determine the difference between being day one, first round pick, keys to the city, millions of dollars versus you get to go fight for a QB3 role as a 6th rounder. It can happen. The margin for error is really small, and Alabama puts you in as good a position to succeed as any program. And I don't know that, like what we just outlined, right, with the idea of Austin Mack, 1 year NFL to Keelan Russell.
Maybe.
I still think it will be Keelan Russell. I still think it should be Keelan Russell. It's irrelevant to the discourse, right? The idea is if you win the Alabama starting job, you have to win it. But if you win it, you are set up to go be a Sunday player. That's the story of Haven's commitment.
Last little aspect here. When you build when you build what looks like a pipeline, I want one more player. I want one more follow in. But you got Penix, Milroe, Simpson. I want one more. But when you build this little track, when you start creating a system like this, what does it do for the 5-star running back, the 5-star wide receiver, the tight end, the guy who's like, man, I better be going to a place that accentuates my skill set, but with some jokers who can throw the dang football, who can give me the football in positions to succeed. I think that you are outlining a discount, Theo. I think the discount multiplies when you go down the roster and you can go to a guy like Sadarian Morgan and say, well, we'll have Keelan Russell next year when you're a freshman, Austin Mack when you're a freshman. And, if Austin Mack does really well, don't worry, we still got Keelan another year and this kid Jet Tamala for another year and Elijah. You're gonna have aces throwing you the football all 3, all 4, all 5 years. Don't worry about it, man. We got this taken. We're never going to revert back to the wishbone because we can't throw the football.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think the worst Alabama quarterback play of the decade is behind us. Is that a crazy take to have?
No, and that's nuts to think about because you have seen. I mean, I guess it is obvious, very obviously, Jalen Milroe as the bottom end, but you're a 3rd-round draft pick.
Yeah,
you're and you compare Jalen Milroe historically to some other Alabama quarterbacks, and Jalen beats them night and day.
Right, pre-Jalen Hurts, like where Milroe would rank, very high up.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw the stat. I think it was since 2016 where there were only 2 games started. Or only 2 players to start games for Alabama football that weren't day 1 or 2 picks.
Like it's for a quarterback?
Yeah.
Jake Coker. You said 2016?
2016, so post Coker.
Okay. That weren't day 1 or 2 because
Yeah.
Mac was. Who would it have been? Are they counting Blake Barnett as a 2016 starter?
Yeah.
Because he started the season.
There's
That's
one
cheap.
ears.
That's cheap.
There's one ears.
That's cheap.
But there's one more like that.
Okay. That's cheap.
So Barnett's one.
One more like that.
Yeah, like one more similar.
Yeah. Who else started one game before Tua or before? The Notre Dame, Buckner,
Yeah.
Tyler
There we
Buckner,
go.
Tyler
There we
Buckner.
go. You
Thank
got
you,
him.
thank you. I was like, who? Good trivia right
That's
there.
crazy.
Yeah.
2 games in a decade. That is insane.
Just send that stat out to all the quarterbacks that you're recruiting.
Hey, if we started Ty Simpson that game, it would be 1.
There you go. Dang it, Nick Saban, you made the wrong joke. Well, but he brought Ty in to save our bacon. Tie in to save the bacon against USF. All right, so that's going to do it for the show. Unless you got more, Theo, any more to give the people on the NFL draft or Elijah Haven.
No, I'm happy, and I think we made the right call sparing them the Alabama baseball talk today. We'll do it tomorrow.
Ridiculous. We'll do that tomorrow. We'll talk about the class of 2027, who's going to be the first-round draft picks from the Crimson Tide. I've got a small list. You can read it on BamaCentral.com. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about baseball. We'll get into a lot of other things. Arkansas tennis.
Yeah, we've been teasing that for a while. We got to get it out there.
I think that's the first time I put it on the microphone. I said that to you off the microphone, maybe. Arkansas tennis getting cut. How long does the Alabama tennis program have? I hate even saying that, but that's the next question. Arkansas tennis, you've got all kinds of recruiting kind of conversations. The Steve Sarkisian, how do you allot your money conversation. There's a lot to get into, so we're going to have a lot of fun the rest of the week. As Theo, headed to California. Going to have a lot of fun this summer. Make sure you follow Theo Fernandez at Theo Fernandez _. Say hello, say goodbye, tell him good job, tell him congratulations, and keep up with all his coverage of the World Cup right there. We're going to get out of here for the day. We'll be back tomorrow for another edition of the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com.
Thanks for joining us on today's edition of the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. Keep up with Joe on all his social media pages at Joe Gaither6. Subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and be sure to read us daily at BamaCentral.com.